Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the A3U review.
And it is cold outside.
Holy cow, that's why we're wearing jackets.
Yeah.
Forgot my scarf.
Yeah, it's really cold in here. Yeah. But the products are hot.
Yes.
We are going to be looking at the comparison between the North American Titans Returns Powermaster Prime versus the Takara Legends LG35 Super Ginrai.
It's actually Ginrai. It's Super Ginrai.
Yes, yeah. I keep forgetting that. Okay.
How many times do I have to tell you?
Ginrai.
Okay, all right. Ginrai. You got it right.
There's a lot to say.
Yeah, get it right, okay?
And what else are we going to look at?
Okay, we got another comparison for you guys, and we will be comparing a bunch of brainstorms. There's one from San Diego Comic-Con, one from Walgreens, and now another one from Takara. So we're going to let you guys know how we feel about all of them.
That's right.
My name's Alex.
I'm Boris.
You're watching the A3U Review. So what we have in front of us is the Hasbro Powermaster Optimus Prime and the Takara Super Ginrai Optimus Prime, or Convoy, if you will.
Both of them are based on the 80s inspiration, of course.
Yep.
In North America, just a little bit of history lesson, we had the Powermaster Prime, which originally had the gimmick, remember, the chest.
Oh, yeah.
The chest master that just basically went into the chest. Very cool little gimmick to form Super Optimus Prime, basically. And then in the Japanese world, it was very similar, the gimmick, except that it represented a different character called Ginrai.
Yes.
In Super God Master Force. And basically, the original toy did not differ too much in terms of the actual mold itself between the North American and the Japanese versions. Yeah. The Japanese version did, though, have some slight remodel features. Yeah. It also connected with other pieces in the series to create Super God Ginrai. Super God Ginrai. And you know, that kind of a gimmick. Yes. And of course, because of that series, it was based on the Transtector, which was the Brainmaster.
Oh
theory or concept. Yeah. Now we have the Titans Returns. Yep. And of course, the Powermaster Prime came out quite a bit ago. Yeah. I thought it was a great figure. And then Takara decided to drop this and say, here you go. We're actually going to do it very much inspired by the Super Ginrai from the 80s. First impressions, though, based on the fact that they are similar molds, which one do you like?
To my surprise, I actually like the Hasbro one more, and it has a lot to do with paint apps. Okay. Because what we have here from the Takara one is red plastic. Yes. It's kind of glossy. And what we have here is red paint, actually. It's and it's quite, I like the matte look to it. It makes all the lines more defined on the arms, on everywhere else. And it looks quite sharp to me. So I actually like this version more. And I just like all the extra detail on it. Like, for example, this piece here on the chest is of course physically different from the Takara version. I just like how the colors go a lot better, in my opinion.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
I am the reverse. I like the Takara version. I don't mind the plastic. I think the plastic itself, you know, maybe it's not represented as well on camera, but it is much more vibrant.
Yeah, it definitely is vibrant.
in the plastic. Alex is right, though. It definitely does not have the amount of paint that the Powermaster Prime does. However, I'm okay with that. I think the vibrant red makes up for it. It does have these weird painted, non-articulated hands, though, which I'm also not too upset about because there's not much that you can do with articulation in these hands here. Like it's just one piece that kind of swivels on a hinge.
Yeah.
Right? Weapons are a little bit lackluster compared to the cool guns that are done here.
I gotta say that I do like the weapons on the Takara version more. I mean, like, these are kind of... these are kind of crappy looking.
And they are reused, as you know, Alex. You might remember these in a white color. Because this Powermaster is actually heavily retooled from the Generations Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus.
We
that's why it transforms very similar.
It
has the chest that opens. This whole head gimmick. It houses the headmaster right now. However, in the Ultra Magnus version, as you recall, the head would come up and the cab would open. But the little figure would sit inside the chest rather than be a headmaster. So that's heavily retooled from the Ultra Magnus, and thus they kept the weapons. Which were a white color. Whereas the Super Ginrai decided that they would actually change up the weapons.
I like the two colors, and I like the color of it. It's like a kind of like a metallic dark gray gunmetal kind of thing with the blue on it, and it looks really good. It looks much better than whatever the heck this is.
I did like what they did for the treatment of how the flaps came back. It allows the hand to be a little bit more free-flowing. Whereas this still has the plate kind of underneath it. I don't know if you notice.
I do notice.
And it's kind of unfortunately molded like that. You can't really do anything with it. You can't even swivel it. It's just stuck there.
We seem to see a lot of painted wheels a lot in Takara. Well, Hasbro didn't seem to want to go with that once again. And they ended up with plain black wheels. And here we actually have silver wheels.
On both sets of the wheels. Including the leg wheels. And of course, as you pointed out, Alex, the chest is very different between the two. I like it because this kind of reminds me a little bit more of the 80s toy. The windows are fully exposed with what looks like, deceivingly, a kind of Powermaster kind of front. Unfortunately, they did not go that mile, which, I mean, understandable. They're just retooling off the same mold. You know, so to incorporate something like a Powermaster gimmick would probably be much more heavy endeavor. Cost a lot more. So, you know, I'm happy with the fact that it's still a headmaster. And then, of course, the legs, Alex, if you notice, the Super Ginrai. If we kind of put them just a little bit closer together, just stand slightly taller because of how the feet work. And the feet, it's because they actually redeveloped this whole hinge here. Whereas on here, it's very much like the Ultra Magnus. They just kept the same swivel feet. And, you know, how this one works is it actually has these kind of like ankle supports. And then it kind of has this kind of like nubbed footing. It's very much like the original toy. So whereas aesthetically I really like it, unfortunately, as you just saw earlier, I almost fell backwards because once these kind of swivel out of place, they are really pretty tight. I do have to admit. I could see that over time getting really loose, and once they are loose, that is it. Like that's all the weight distribution like that it has. Like basically once it goes out of place, you have no more weight distribution on the ankles. And even if it's slightly out of place, so I'll just kind of angle it a little bit. You can see if it goes backwards, it's toppling.
That's it.
So hopefully that doesn't get too loose over time because it does actually need to move out of place for it to transform. But that's my only gripe with it. This is very sturdy. Like these feet are not going anywhere.
It's like one piece.
However, you do give up this kind of articulation because Super Ginrai, because of how it swivels here, the actual feet can stay flat to the ground.
Yes.
And so you can do a little bit more. If these hollow legs will actually let me. The ratcheting is very tight.
Yeah.
So as you can see, Alex, it's much more articulation.
Yeah. Yeah.
From this style of footing.
Yeah.
But giving up the weight balance or the weight distribution.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And then, of course, last but not least, I'm not sure what you like, Alex, but for me, the actual Headmaster, if you pull up this here, and it pulls the Headmaster with it, in the Super Ginrai, it actually has the full mask on.
Yep.
Even underneath the mask.
Yeah.
I kind of like this varied look.
Yeah.
I
agree.
The
With the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's not 100% accurate.
Yeah.
But you know, for me, it's really cool.
Yeah.
I love the Orion.
The Orion Pax
kind of nod there. It does look very Orion Pax-ish.
Yeah.
But of course, this is a little bit more true to what is going on.
Yeah.
If you pull out the Headmaster too, Alex, you'll see that the Headmasters are very similar in the way they work, of course. And even the actual, as you can see, the decoing is very different, but the actual mold is similar. They both turn into bases, and the base modes are relatively the same, minus the fact of the chest being different, because that becomes the front of the base. The old toy also turned into a base.
Yes.
But let's get it quickly into vehicle mode, and then you can actually see some big differences in the vehicle mode and just how accurate the Super Ginrai is.
All right. So here we have them in their vehicle modes, and you remember how I was saying that I like the Hasbro one more?
Yeah.
I actually like the Takara one more now.
Yeah, in vehicle mode, it's quite different, right?
Yeah, quite different.
I like the color scheme a little bit better.
Yes.
There's definitely a lot more variation.
Yeah.
This is, of course, a mode where the tires that you mentioned with the painted rims definitely stand out a lot more.
They stand out.
Yeah, and also the dual tone here, the red in the front, along with the painted blue kind of grid. They actually changed up the cab, which is nice.
Yeah.
Right? Because this was a very retooled off of Ultra Magnus kind of cab. Whereas if you look at the Super Ginrai, it's very much remolded to...
It's like the classic one.
Yeah, exactly. To have a more classic look to it.
Yeah.
I do like how subdued this is. It's not this huge honking
Yeah. That's another thing that I love about this one. And it's more subtle. And because it's small... It still looks more detailed compared to this giant freaking big Autobot logo, which stands out, which totally gives away the fact that he's an Autobot.
Yeah. And then, of course, the back as well.
Yeah.
The feet left over.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of how the Ultra Magnus
it is.
Mold was too. So I could see why that is there.
Yeah.
And it's not awful. It's just when you now have the newly remolded feet that tuck in and give it a cleaner backing, you begin to really appreciate this. And then some of the paint detail that's in the back of the truck on the shins that later become the back of the truck, give it really good detail.
This looks very clean looking. This... You know, it is what it is, but once you compare it with this is definitely a much better look. I mean, even with the way that the guns on the top are, this looks very uniform. This is just thrown in. It's just these random guns that are, you know, they were placed there because it needs a place to put the guns. Yeah, right?
Totally.
So, yeah.
This is very much like a toy. I feel like the actual spirit of being a toy... this has all the markings of it. This definitely feels more like a collector's piece. Yeah. I wouldn't say no to either one. Right? Especially at the price point that this one's at. Yeah. It's a very fun toy. Yeah. I love this mold a lot. The novelty did wear off because it was already used for Ultra Magnus. Yeah. But, you know, You can never have too many primes, in my opinion. And there you have it. The Powermaster Prime versus the Super Ginrai.
Actually, it's Ginrai.
Oh, man. Have you been letting me say that the whole time? You told me in the beginning.
I told you! I told you earlier! You just kept on saying it.
I've always called it Ginrai because I suck. I'm not Japanese. It's supposed to be...
Well, neither am I, but at least I know it's Ginrai.
Yes, it's supposed to be a hard consonant, right?
Yeah. So
man,
I just got tired of telling you, man.
I always get corrected with my English, my Chinglish.
Learn Japanese.
Yeah, evangelists correcting me on my decal versus decal.
Yeah. Well, there you have it.
Yes.
You know, let's say it properly, okay?
This is
the comparison between
proper pronunciation is Powermaster versus Super Ginrai.
That's right.
Japanese accurate.
Yes. So for our next comparison, we got Brainstorms. We got 3 of them. One from San Diego Comic-Con. This is a Walgreens exclusive. And also, we have the Takara Legends, which is also the most recent release.
That's right. This one just came out not too long ago. And basically, all of them are kind of based on inspiration from some sort of a source material.
Yes.
So the Walgreens inspiration and what it was aiming for was the North American continuity.
Yeah.
So it features this kind of like a turquoise kind of aqua green-ish.
Yeah.
And then the San Diego Comic-Con version is more towards homaging the colors of the first toy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Toy. And then the actual Legends version is, of course, the Japanese Headmaster's cartoon continuity.
Yeah.
And thus also having non-masked face.
Yes.
As opposed to the masked version.
Yeah, it's a very distinct feature.
For me, I've always actually liked the Japanese cartoon, the toon colors from the Japanese continuity. But I always also liked the masked version of the face from the North American continuity. So for me, it's a tough choice because they're all actually represented quite well when you actually look at the coloring and the color schemes. I don't know, which one do you prefer, or do you kind of like?
Well, I like them differently because I really had no attachment to the original character, but you know, we come across this dilemma all the time. Like, are you looking for a toon accuracy or toy accuracy, or the or when it came out again, like if the character came out again or something like that. So for me, I just look at face value and what I see in front of me, and I like this one just because it looks really, really nice. I like the, of course, the different head. I love the fact that these black wings and all the black pieces really stand out. The blue and this white go together so well. The San Diego Comic-Con version, I just feel this whatever this light gray is and this light turquoise, it just feels so faint. It just doesn't, like, none of these colors really pop out at me.
It's very pale.
Yeah, it's very pale, and it doesn't stand out. It makes the character just not feel, the character as a toy really feel like it just has no, I guess, value to me when I look at it. This, I see nostalgic value, just because I recognize the character from the cartoons, but if I really wanted something that had quality and a good look to it, I would have to go with this one.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you, not only because I did like the coloring in the Japanese continuity, but just as a toy, this one really pops. And I agree with you. It's the contrast with the black.
Yeah.
And, you know, honestly, in terms of color popping, both of these, the color pop more than the San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
It's not to say it's bad. The actual color harmony, it's actually a very slight, subtle difference in plastic coloring than the Walgreens version, but it really actually matches if you notice the pastel-like toy colors.
For sure.
And it does bring that nostalgia back to the toy itself.
Yeah.
But I always felt that the toy itself was not colored as nicely.
Now, as for this one, the main reason why I'm not as into it is that we've seen like quite a few versions of Brainstorm in the last maybe 1 or 2 years, like whether it be in third party or in another release of this toy. So, I mean, this character rather. So I'm just so used to seeing the gray and the turquoise so many times that this is something fresh. This feels fresh. And those black wings really make it stand out so much. So my money's on this one.
Yeah, I do agree. And it's kind of interesting because when you look at all of them, they do have some very strong points about each one. This being the overall color scheme, the pop that it has, the reference to the cartoon accuracy. But this one also has an added bonus, which it comes with a cool little Headmaster vehicle gimmick. The other two just kind of have this, you know, the front of the jet mode. It kind of houses the actual Headmaster to kind of sit in it. Now, this actually comes with its own transformable vehicle. It transforms into a gun and vehicle, and the Headmaster actually sits in there.
That's cool.
And it's this like little cool like tank jeep kind of thing, which is a really nice like added little gimmick. So it also makes the toy itself much better. So a lot of strengths in this version. Downside though is you are still paying a premium to get this. Much more than the Walgreens. And then the San Diego Comic-Con, it came in a 3-pack, so you did have to spend the money, unfortunately. And unless you really wanted the Sentinel Prime and the Windblade from that 3-pack, you know, you were kind of spending top dollar just to have this figure and trying to maybe trade or sell off the other two. But having said that, the decoing on this, there's something very special about the tampoing. You notice the retro-like tampoing that they have on there? They almost look like stickers, but they're not. They're actually tampoed right on.
Oh, really?
They are.
That's cool.
Yeah, they're not stickers, which is actually much better because you don't have to worry about the stickers kind of peeling or anything. But it's still like when you look at it, it looks like a sticker and it gives you that retro feel to it all throughout. And I really, really like that. That is a really unique feature of this. And for the price point, it's excellent. And especially now, Walgreens is... I saw they were blowing them out for a little bit there for like $5 or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was kind of insane. I don't know if you can get it anymore because it was such a good price. What was mind-boggling and unfortunate is that they had it as a Walgreens exclusive. Nothing against Walgreens. I just don't think of Walgreens as a place to go buy my toys as a first thought. Like, and being such a big character in the Headmasters series, I really wondered why this did not come out as a mainstream release. Because this would have been an excellent mainstream release.
For sure. I mean, it should have been like a Walmart or a Toys R Us or a Target exclusive or something like that, right?
Yeah, at least like a larger chain store that you also had in Canada and whatnot.
Something a little bit more accessible.
So unfortunately in North America, you could only get it in the United States. So left a lot of Canadian collectors trying to pay top dollar just to try to acquire this or having to settle for the San Diego Comic-Con. Now the San Diego Comic-Con, it also has its ups, which is it really does remind me of the toy. If you are a fan of the toy, it stays pretty true to that. Plus it has some really nice detailing in the windows. In the jet mode, in the thrusters, and all this kind of like dual tone paint where it kind of doesn't go that extra mile. The silver touches.
I love the silver touches.
And just the overall color harmony of this, they really did think it out very well. And they also have the kind of similar, whereas it's not as much. The tampoing.
Yes.
Here. So, you know, I do like that, that it has that. So that is kind of a strength of this version here.
That's good.
But all in all, I think this one just edges out the other two, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, in terms of transformation, we've already seen this in the Takara Blur.
Oh yes, that's right.
And the Hasbro Blur.
Yeah.
Though the Takara Blur is, in my opinion, ultimately a way better version of Blur. And if you haven't picked that one up, oh my god, that is definitely one of the highlights of this whole line. But I can't get enough of this mold.
Yeah. It's a good mold. It's just surprising that you can actually make two characters out of it, Blur and these guys right here.
And they still turn out looking pretty damn good.
Yeah, they look unique. Like you wouldn't know right away that that's the same mold. But once you put them all together, you realize like they
it's very much the same.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was brilliant on their part. So that's awesome.
Yeah, let's get this into the vehicle mode so that we can kind of take a look.
Okay. And here they are in their jet modes.
That's right. It actually gives me a different view of them. You know, honestly, originally I had felt that this was like what some people suggested, more accurate to the toy.
Yep.
Looking at it in vehicle mode, though, it actually lacks a lot of what the toy had.
Yeah.
It's almost like I feel like this and this should have merged in colors. Because here you can really see, because I guess you see so much of it in one sweep.
Yeah.
That pastel thing that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I feel like the saturation is not quite enough as the toy, and then this is way too green. Yeah. So if these two kind of merged a little bit, where the saturation was a little bit more towards that, then it'd be awesome. And then of course it would have to have the tampos that this had to really match the North American continuity and toy line. Yeah. The toy decos really match what was going on here, which is the tampos that is definitely missing on this SDCC one. Yeah. But this still has a little bit more of a higher end feel because of the extra paint apps that we had talked about that it does come with. And the color still has that kind of harmony to it that we had also talked about. Yeah. But once again, I don't know. The car one, it really speaks to me. And there's that little, the little gimmick that I was talking about.
I see a lot of value here when I look at this. I love the paint apps. It's just a better overall looking ship, like the alt mode when compared to these two. And plus you have this, this little tank or vehicle thingy, which not only is a gun and a tank, but it's also got that speeder bike mode.
Yeah, the speeder bike mode is pretty awesome. You basically just flip him around, and then these things come out, and he's like this speeder bike pod or some sort of like awesome futuristic hovering speeder bike. Yeah, having that little extra thing, I didn't think I would care. Yeah, but once you have it, it's kind of like, oh, I totally wish that these came with that same gimmick. It just have that extra little bit of playability. Yeah. And it's actually really well done.
It is well done. First of all, that's a great looking vehicle. I really love this. I don't know what it is, but like it's a cool looking vehicle. But another thing that I really like about this is that the way the paint apps is that it gives this blue section, like it goes all the way from the front to the end. Unlike these ones, which just stop right in the middle, right at the cockpit. But like this whole like from beginning to end, in that baby blue, it just feels like it's such a nice touch, and it makes it feel complete. Like it's just the right amount of blue.
Yep, definitely.
And of course that black strip there also makes it look good as well.
Very high end too.
Yeah,
it's a very high end feel to it. It has a different texture to the paint. Yeah. It's much more of a matte to semi-gloss kind of finish. Yeah. And then, I don't know if you noticed, but the seating in here is actually painted.
Ah, yes.
So it gives it that extra little premium feel to it. These two fall short of the paint, but the SDCC does attempt to have a little bit of contrast in its seat. Yeah. Whereas in the Walgreens one, it is just very much what you see is what you get. It's all plastic coloring for the most part.
Yeah.
But you know, I really like the orange window. That very much reminds me of the toy.
That's classic Brainstorm.
Exactly. It's classic Brainstorm. I mean, the yellow is kind of right on this end, but I do like the orange tinge to it. It really makes this look really nice. I don't know how well it would look with the blue color scheme, but it definitely pops here. And I really like it. Otherwise, the little guys are kind of very much similar in the amount of paint apps they got. I definitely like the orange on this one a little bit better when it comes to the masked version. Again, the subdued pastel-y kind of colors maybe don't quite hit those notes. And then in terms of the amount of paint apps, very similar. It is kind of a tough choice because they all kind of have their strong points. They also all have very different price points. So I don't know at the end of the day how it all balances out. But if you ask me just at face value, like what you said, you judged it by face value. Takara wins hands down for me.
Me too. I just love all the little extra features. For example, the gun becoming a triple changer, and I just love the overall look of this one. So, Takara for me.
Definitely.
So that's our comparison between all these Brainstorms, and we like this one, and it's up to you guys which one you will decide. And that's our episode for today. We hope you enjoyed it.
Is that a hard J or oh wait? Okay.
Enjoyed. Enjoyed.
Yeah, so we did a lot of comparisons today.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. Okay. And that's our episode for today. We hope you enjoyed it.
So we did a lot of comparisons today. Why don't you tell us how you feel? Which versions of the toys would you like?
That's right. Would you like the Powermaster Optimus Prime or
Super Ginrai?
Ginrai. Okay, Ginrai? He's got it right this time.
Finally. After just one whole episode. And of course, our Brainstorm Super comparison. You know, which one does it for you? Which one doesn't? Am I wrong? Do you hate me? Let us know in the comments.
Yes. Let us know in the comments. We appreciate reading all of them.
That's right.
And as always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like us on Facebook
on Facebook?
Facebook, Facebook. I almost said the Raging Nation, but it's not the Raging Nation. Like us on Facebook at Ages 3 and Up, and also follow us on Twitter at Ages 3 and Up. And also, by the way, I got to say one more thing before we sign off. Congratulations to us on 8,000 subscribers.
We hit 8,000?
We just hit 8,000. Hey, good job.
Good job, and
good job to you guys.
To the viewers and all of our fans that have been following us and all of our new fans that are now watching. We really appreciate it. And, you know, we couldn't thank you more.
We couldn't have done it, and we couldn't have made it this far without you guys. So, give yourselves a pat on the back by hitting that like button.
That's right.
We're going to see you next week, and we're going to have more stuff for you guys. So my name's Alex.
I'm Boris.
And we'll see you next time. Thank you so much, and keep on watching.
Yes.